Hey everyone, Lassen Volcanic is one of California's 9 national parks. Located in the northeastern part of the state, it's home to every type of volcano and a lot of geothermal activity. Established in 1916, we had a lot of fun exploring Lassen with our kids, learning a lot about the park's volatile history, and wanted to show you what you can expect from a park still recovering from 2021's devastating Dixie Fire. Having younger kids, we decided to keep to the park's main area. For us, that meant sticking to Route 89 in search for hikes no longer than 3 miles round trip and quick roadside attractions that the kids would enjoy. Coming in through the southern gate, the road's only 29 miles to the Manzanita Lake entrance, and the drive between is a beautiful scenic one that can be driven in about an hour without stopping. Some of the mountain drop-offs can be a little bit intimidating without a shoulder or guardrail, but those sections are few and far between. Regarding stops, the first one should be to the Kohm-Yah-Mah-Nee Visitor Center near the southwest entrance. It displays all the park's up-to-date information, alerts, exhibits, and it has a park store. It's also one of the few places you can grab food in the area, so we recommend stopping here for a break and the free Wi-Fi. Not far from the center is the Sulphur Works parking lot. This stinky stop is fast, with its largest geothermal mud pot right next to the sidewalk and highway. Just when you think the rotten egg smell can't get any stronger, Mother Nature will surprise you, and it will have the kids giggle-gagging all the way back to the car. And from there, you can see additional geothermal vents in the distance. Emerald Lake was our next stop, and it's only a few steps away from the road. Its picturesque look is great for photos, but you can probably skip it if you're already planning to visit Helen Lake. Helen Lake isn't much further, and it's completely worth the stop. The mountain lake provided us with the best mirrored lake reflection we'd ever seen, until our kids decided to start throwing rocks. Looking like floating mountains in the lens, the strength of the reflection is awe-inspiring. And I took it in as long as I could as the kids jumped around on a surprisingly large amount of snow surrounding the lake at the end of July. The trailhead to Bumpass Hell is also in the area, and this was the main trail we wanted to hike with our kids during our visit. At 2.6 miles to Bumpass Hell and back, everyone said it was great for families. Unfortunately, it was still closed due to the hazardous snow conditions. The trailhead parking lot has a great view though, one that really shows the unbelievable aftermath of the 2001 Dixie Fire that devastated the park. A fire that burned inside the park for months, touching approximately 69% of the park's total area, with almost everything on the east side of the highway destroyed, continuing as far as the eye could see. Because of this, our first actual hike wasn't until King Creek Falls trailhead. The 3-mile round trip to Kings Creek Falls has everything from a refreshing river walk to a stroll past a beautiful meadow, before the experience gets a little bit rougher for the kids as the hike takes you through a burnt section of the park with no shade. The heat and the dead trees had the kids antsy by the time we got to the waterfall, but we'll admit that the waterfall is beautiful, with strong water flow and a cooling mist that we all appreciated. While the walk back was much shorter, the steep climb out along the river required a couple stops before we all made it out. And that hike was probably the maximum we could expect out of the kids for the day. The Summit Lake North Day Use area was our next stop on Route 89. With a picnic area right on the shore, it's a great place to eat and relax as the lake's cool breeze cools you down. Summit Lake looked like a solid campground, with many families taking advantage of the lake through paddleboards and kayaks. We also intended to hike the Summit Lake Trail, but we changed our mind on taking the kids after seeing that it had been completely burnt out as well. Further down, with a name unrelated to the Dixie Fire, the devastated area is an interpretive trail that's great for families looking to learn more about the park's history. The 0.3-mile loop has a handful of powered kiosks with speakers to narrate the events of the park's last series of eruptions spanning from 1914 to 1921. Our last quick roadside stop before Manzanita Lake was the Chaos Jumbles. That entire area is just the messy remains of a massive rock slide that was once the missing half of the mountain in the distance, and a stark reminder of nature's power. The final area that we explored in Lassen was Manzanita Lake, home to the Loomis Museum and the Manzanita campground that we stayed at. It's a large area, but the camp store is a great place to get supplies, shower, and fill up on gas if the pump's not out of order. That being said, be sure to fill up your tank before driving up. The nearest gas and diesel pumps are almost 45 minutes from the park's entrance, from either Old Town or Chester, California. From Loomis Museum, we hiked the Lily Pond Trail, which has its own self-guided trail pamphlet at the entrance so you can learn about the plants on the path. Overall, we really enjoyed Lassen Volcanic National Park. While the Dixie Fire really has left its imprint on the land, the park's still full of beauty, and I don't think there's any other national park as well equipped to bounce back from fire and devastation than a park that's full of lava-spitting volcanoes. But while you're out there, you have to take the kids to these 2 spots: Have a great one.
Thanks for watching our show.